Welcome, everybody. Get on in and get settled. How are you guys doing? Welcome. Happy Wednesday. We're going to be talking all about FolkArt Terracotta. So we've got John here in the other studio, so he can answer any questions that you have in the chat or ask them to me and I can answer you guys while we're live. So welcome everybody while you get in and get settled. Remember, if you are not crafting along and you want to go back and watch this at any time after, Michael's does a great job of posting these about 24 hours after, and they have a great library of these community classroom pages, classes. So you can absolutely check it out on michaels.com community classroom. And all this product that we're using, we've got some jars that are thrifted, but Michaels has a lot of great surfaces. So you can absolutely get your vases and jars at Michaels. And the paint that we are talking about is FolkArt Terracotta, which is available at michaels.com and at Michaels in store. So this is the paint we're going to be talking about. It is one of our favorites. It's brand new this year. It's really fun. We've been doing a lot of thrift store finds and upcycling with it. So we've got a fun new technique to share with you guys. Everybody's in, John?
It looks like, yeah. I think we can go ahead and get started.
Awesome. All right. So FolkArt Terracotta is a lightly textured acrylic paint. It is indoor-outdoor, and it is supporting that amazing terracotta trend. So all those really like warm, earthy colors and that light texture. So I hope you guys can see. My hands are covered in paint. I apologize. We're actually working on Halloween, so I've got black and glitter on me right now. But you can see and hear this is a lightly textured acrylic paint that it is great for that whole upcycled, that just warm, like opaque trend that is happening. There are 18 beautiful colors in the line. So everything from white and gray and black, and then your traditional terracotta colors. So you can see this. We've got a beautiful red, like a rosy red, a pink, like a really beautiful blush pink. This Rose Mesa is my favorite. We've also got some really beautiful greens, so like a mossy green and a brighter green. And we also have blues, so light blues and this really rich blue. So ton of great colors. Yeah.
I don't mean to disrupt you, but I was letting you know that your overhead camera is off. The picture itself.
You know what? I think Steven just ran out. Our camera guy ran out to see if he can get it fixed. So there's something not working. So how about this, guys? Can you see this? We can pivot. So this is a lightly textured acrylic paint, and it is indoor outdoor. So you can decorate your patio. You can decorate your sunroom. You know, any space that you have, it is a great way to add a pop of color. And again, all the colors work really, really well together. So I want you guys to see how beautiful all these are. So I apologize, we don't have the overhead, but just beautiful, rich, warm, earthy tones, and they all work together. It's a great way to upcycle. Like I said, Michaels has so many great surfaces. They've got mason jars. They have like plain hurricane jars, little votives. You can use this on other things too, like ceramic, on wood, on canvas. So not just glass, but we're going to be doing it on glass today to show you this technique. So again, if you guys have questions, I'm going to start crafting. So please let me know. And if you have questions about the paint, John and I can answer them for you. Steven just got back. So we may get the overhead working, but if not, we'll just make sure you guys can see front facing, which is fine.
Yeah, he may have to get in the view just for a second while we fix it.
Yeah, that's okay. We're live.
There he is. Kira, one question that's already come in is the paint food safe?
So it is not food safe, but you could use it for decorative purposes. If you wanted to do like a charger or something, you would just have to put a layer between that and your food. You could also paint the back of a glass plate and do it that way. So, or you can paint a charger and then put a glass plate on it and use it, and then it would be food safe. So that's
but it is completely non-toxic and water-based. It's just for food safe,
easy cleanup, soap and water, great for family crafting. And it's indoor outdoor. So that is a great property, multiple surfaces and indoor outdoor.
It does look like we have our overhead back. So we can,
awesome. Can you guys see, look at my dirty hands.
I don't know if we went over it, but if I would recommend that everyone be on speaker view. That way, whatever it is that Felicia is highlighting for you guys to see, it was the view that you're going to get. So if you're not on speaker view, I would recommend doing that.
Okay. Well, I'm going to get started. So I want to show you this technique. So you can absolutely just base coat your vase, like no problem. Prep your glass and ceramic or your surface, and then you can paint it solid colors, and you can do a beautiful range of colors, all solid. You can stencil with this, which we've done before. You can tape it off. So you can ombre it. You can dry brush it. But we're going to do this really fun, chunky. So it almost looks like scraped granite or concrete. So I'm going to show you guys how easy that is. And I want to talk about prepping your glass or ceramic surface. So anytime you're using our paints to paint on glass or ceramic, you want to make sure that you wash them with warm soapy water, rinse and dry them. Then you want to take some rubbing alcohol. So just your everyday rubbing alcohol, and you want to take a lint-free cloth and you want to wipe it down. So that's going to remove any residue left on by like a sticker or dust, or again, if you're thrifting, you want to just take that rubbing alcohol and give it a quick wipe down, and then you're ready to paint. So you want to make sure you do that step in any glass, whether you purchase it from the store or you're upcycling. Okay, so I'm going to show you what we've done is we've gone ahead and we've base coated these. So here, I'm going to show you on this one. So we did a really beautiful base coat. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to be using these metal scrapers. Now, if you don't have these metal scrapers, again, these are available at Michael's. They come in a pack. They're under FolkArt. You can use a credit card, old credit card, an old gift card, a palette knife, or a like really hard piece of like a poster board or plastic. But you want something that you're going to be able to scrape. You don't want something that has a lot of give. So a gift card would work, but these metal scrapers are great to have on hand. You can do a lot of things with these. So I'm going to go ahead and use one of these. Again, I'm gonna base coat just so you guys can see the coverage real quick, and then I'll get into the scraping of the project. So again, I've just got a square vase here. Again, just prepped our surface, and I am going to use this green so you guys can see. So this is what I'm going to be mimicking when I show you. So I've got this green. It is called Cavern Moss. It's a really warm green, and this paint is really thick. It's lightly textured, so it's not chunky. So you can't even see the chunks, but it's really thick and creamy. And I want to show you how great that covers. So can you guys see that? I don't know what view we're looking at. So it is practically one coat on all surfaces. Now, some you'd have to go back, you know, if it's spotty, and do 2 coats. But typically I get 1 coat with this. Also, you can do as much texture or as little texture as you want. So I'm just painting this on like I would paint, and you're going to see just a little bit of brush stroke. That light texture is going to come through. Or you could add more texture, and you could really do like a cross hatch. You could use a stencil brush or side of your brush and really get some texture on there. But I'm just going to smooth this on in one direction. And again, that's 1 coat on glass. So that's amazing coverage. It's really creamy, really opaque, really easy to paint on and use. It's a really fun project because it is like an instant gratification when you're doing this, like how fast you can transform this. And I love this coming up for fall because these colors are so pretty and warm. They're going to be beautiful for mantles, for centerpieces. You know, if you're having a wedding, we talked about that these colors are so on trend that you could do the centerpieces or shower gifts. Great for a baby's room also, because the colors are so soft and warm. So I'm just going to finish painting this so you guys can see how fast this goes.
Yeah, it's really remarkable. I mean, how that's transformed, and just you've been doing that for what, maybe 30 seconds or a minute, you know?
And this is 1 coat. I wouldn't even go back and do 2 coats on this. So again, beautiful colors, and really easy to paint, great coverage. So I've already gone ahead and painted this. Again, can you see that texture? You can kind of hear it. So it's really pretty. Okay, so then we're going to this is what we're going to be doing. So again, you can do this on any vase, any find that you have. And we're going to start layering. So I'm going to start with my darkest. So I'm going to get black. And this is just a really rich black. I'm going to use my small scraper, depending on the size of your project. You could, change your scraper size, but I'm going to use the small one. And I'm going to dip my scraper in. Okay, so you don't need a ton. I'm going to wipe it off a little bit. And then I'm going to go, so this is hard. I want you guys to do this. I'm going to go from the bottom up. This is kind of awkward. So I'm going to go like this. And because this is hard, it's like skimming your surface Does that make sense? If you're using something soft, it's going to bend around your base and it's just going to leave a big streak. But because this is harder metal, it's going to resist and it's not going to touch down on every spot. So see, you want it to be that chunky, like really distressed look. Now you can go side to side, you could go up and down, you could start at the top and go from the top down. I'm just going from the bottom because I like that look. And I love working with vases like this because you can pop your hand right inside. It's easy to paint. I'm gonna get some more paint. And again, I'm just using a metal scraper. I would highly recommend these. They're by FolkArt. If you don't have this, you could use a gift card or harder piece of plastic, but you really want something that's gonna skim over the top of it. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can always go back and add more. Okay, so that's the black. Then I'm just using a baby wipe to wipe off my scraper. So again, this is super easy cleanup with soap and water, but I just used a baby wipe, also great to have on hand. Okay, this one we've already gone ahead. You can see we've added the black to it. So now I'm going to layer the blue. So I'm working dark to light. So I am going to use this Cavern Ocean. It's a really beautiful blue. And I'm going to do the same technique. So I'm going to scrape up. Now, the more you put on, the thicker and the more dimension we're going to have.
So Kara, it does seem that you would want to let these dry between colors, right?
Correct. You could do it wet. It's going to give it more of like a blended ombre effect. I can show you guys. This one is dry. It just works better also for filming. But you can do it wet. It's just going to blend in some places, but I like that look also. That doesn't bother me. It just depends kind of what you're looking for. So you don't want to cover up all your black. You want to still let some of that black peek through. So this is wet. So I'll show you. This is wet, what I just did. I'm going to go right into my blue and I'm going to go over my black. So you can see how it kind of blends, which is pretty. So I kind of like that in spots. So it's just really like kind of the look that you're going for, but you can do it wet. And this dries really fast. Put it in front of a fan, or if you are going to use a hair dryer, you want to make sure you use only cool air on this. We typically say toggle back between, see how pretty that is? We toggle back between hot and cold when we're drying, like our regular, like acrylic paints and canvases. This one, you definitely want to use cool air on it to dry. So just a little side note on there. And then again, this is indoor outdoor. So once it is dried, you can pop this guy outside. So it just says let dry 1 hour between coats, and that's it. So again, it dries pretty fast. You don't need to worry about that. Okay, so then once we do this blue, I've gone ahead one more step here, and we've added the light blue to this. So I'm just going to switch this out just to show you. So this is black, the Ocean Cavern. And then we did the light blue, which is the sea stone. So you can see we did the same technique. And then I'm going to take this really pretty, this is cool concrete. So this concrete, it's like a warm, everything's warm, but it's like a tannish gray. So it's got a little more tan than gray, I would say, in it. And so I'm going to show you the last step in this. So again, just going to scrape right over. And now you're just building up, and you can hear it scraping more now that I have a lot of paint on this and all the colors. You just want to layer him. Right? And that's it. And then you would just let that dry. So it's a great technique. Like I said, I'm going to do another one on here. So we've got this Pueblo painted. I'm going to do a warm one. I love that you can do warm and cools. You can mix them. So I'm going to put some of this red clay on here. And then I'm going to do the Mesa pink. So it's the same technique that we just did. So you want to base coat with your FolkArt Terracotta paint. Let that dry. Then you want to grab your metal scraper. And I'm just wiping off with my baby wipe. And then I'm going to build up from dark to light. So I'm going to go into my darkest color. And I am going to scrape. And I'm going to go all the way up on this one. And again, you could go side to side if you like that look. Again, great for fall. You know, fall's out already. It's Just turned August, but there's definitely, Michael's has fall happening. So this is great. Get some great, you know, so many great surfaces, whether it's a mason jar, you know, again, this works on wood, on terracotta. So if you have terracotta pots that you already have that are just like basic terracotta colors, you can absolutely paint over that and change the color of your terracotta pot. So you could just give those an update. And because it's indoor outdoor, you don't need to worry about it. All right, so I'm gonna go wet on this one and I'm gonna go right into my Mesa paint and see how that's blending. It's really beautiful. Again, Michael's has a lot of great flowers, so you could do beautiful arrangements. This is a great housewarming gift also, or hostess gift. You know, if you're doing any, you know, making and selling this season, you know, these jars, if you see them in boutiques and things like that, they're so expensive. And this is a great way to, you know, go to Michael's, get some surfaces and or some thrifted things that you have, and then grab this FolkArt Terracotta paint. It's available online at michaels.com and also at Michael's in the store. And you can craft these and they look like $1 million. So again, I'm just using my metal scraper. I am just layering. So really fun to do. John, does anybody have questions?
Not so far, but if you do guys have any questions, be sure to put them in the chat and I will make sure to ask Kira about them. You must be a great teacher, Kira, because everyone knows exactly what you're saying.
It's a super easy technique, but it was something we thought everybody would really enjoy. So it's not going to be a long class, but we thought it is such a great technique and you get this beautiful piece of art that you're creating out of this. So absolutely. I love that it's just so quick and simple that you can make, this is fresh granite. This is a really pretty gray also. I'm going to add some gray to this. Just drop my lid. Again, all the colors, there's 18 colors. So there's like a really wide range. And again, you know, these pastels and these warm, soft tones are really trendy right now in decor. So if you have a bookcase and you're like, oh, I want to update it, this is a great way to do that without having to, you know, completely redo your shelf. You can just grab some of this paint and paint jars that you already have. I bet like in your basement or your garage, you have like 10 things that you can paint. I always say, you know, you get flowers and then you feel bad throwing the vase away. This is a great way to reuse those vases. And again, Michael's has hurricanes and mason jars and votives, like glass votives. You could do this on a candlestick. We've done some really beautiful chunky candlesticks. You could even do this on like an LED candle for, you know, for a centerpiece or your mantle would be really pretty. This paint is so great.
Kara, there are a couple of questions. So do we have to put a coating over the top if we're going to set the pot outside? We have a lot of wood.
So it is indoor outdoor. So that is a great benefit and feature of this paint. It is indoor outdoor. So you can put this outside.
Cool.
Now, if you want to seal your pot first, you could use Mod Podge has some great outdoor sealers and you don't want it to sweat or breathe through. You can seal your pot first before you paint it on the inside, but you can absolutely put this without another coat on or another added layer outside because it's indoor outdoor.
Great. And then someone was asking if there are packs of paints, which I'm assuming they mean bundles of colors and that sort of thing.
Yeah, you know, currently there are not sets at Michael's, but they do have 18. They have all the colors. So it's really easy. I can show you guys some colors.
And
if somebody has like a specific question about color, I could show you or happy to answer.
Right. And it's a small 2-ounce size, so you don't have to invest a ton in colors that maybe you don't want. You can sort of curate your own collection very inexpensively.
Yeah, so here, I'll show you guys. Like, so these are some beautiful warm colors. This is a great palette. So this is Pueblo, Terrazzo Tan, Red Clay, and Mesa Pink. So those are really warm and they all work really well together. And you've got your cool palette too, if you want to think that way. You've got Sea Stone, Ocean Cavern, we've got black. You could add one of the grays in there. So this is Sea Frost. And this is fresh granite. So there's a really beautiful cool palette if you want the blues. I love this also for like a beachy theme. This is great for that kind of weathered look. And then we've got greens. So this is Shell Green, Cavern Moss. This is that Terrazzo Tan, looks really pretty with the greens. And this cool concrete is a tan. So that's another great color palette. So I hope that helps you guys. That's like 3 color palettes. Now they all work
Sure.
together. Can you guys see overhead? That's 3 color palettes. If you're like, oh, I really like warm and pink colors, or, you know, my decor is like more blues and cools, or greens and tans. So hopefully that would help, because those would make beautiful vases like this. So pick your base coat. I would pick like your mid-range for your base coat. And then I would start with your dark and work your way light if you're going to be doing this technique.
Great. And, you know, Candalee did actually mention to me in the chat, she said, did you guys mention the other terracotta classes, which we did not. So there are, you've actually been live here doing some terracotta before. Is that correct?
Yeah, so there is on Michael's, there's at least, I think there's 2 other classes on Michael's community classroom page. So we did an intro where we stenciled, we ombre'd, we like really took a deep dive and showed you everything that you can paint on, and did a lot of fun techniques and projects. Also, I believe Emma taught a mason jar terracotta class, I think last week, but she upcycled some mason jars and they were really cool. And she showed you how to do like some stroke work and detail work on them. And then I think this is our 3rd one that we've done. So
Yes.
again, it's a great just to have this paint. It's, you know, it's not just to paint on jars. So it's a really pretty light texture that you can use on a canvas. You know, we teach our Let's Paint classes. So we actually talked about using this as like a background for a painting would be really awesome, because it's so light, but it just gives that extra depth to it. I think it's going to be great for Halloween and fall. Hint, hint, wink, wink. I said we're talking about, I'm painting Halloween and fall right now. So I think there's going to be a lot of great pumpkins and vases like that, that it's going to be great for like those fake pumpkins. So yeah, definitely check out those other classes.
Yeah, and Felicia's just putting the links to the YouTube videos for those classes. So you can check those out.
Yeah, and again, you know, it's brand new, it's in Michael's, you know, they've got a lot of great options, purchase online, you can still do curbside at a lot of stores and delivery. So you can pick your palette. I hope that helped too, because it is sometimes hard to pick color when you don't see it in person. So if you are ordering online, or you're going to do a pickup, if you have questions on color, and I can repeat those if that would help, but you know, it's hard sometimes to see like on a screen what a color is. So those are, you know, some really great color palettes. And then again, we've got whites. We've got a adobo white, which is like a creamy white, and a snowbank, which is a bright white, which would work with any of these and a great basic to have.
Yep. And just for everyone's benefit, someone was asking where these classes all are. So just one more time, you can go to michaels.com/classes, but you can also look at their YouTube channel, where they put all of these classes up.
Yeah, and this will be posted. Yeah, and it usually like in 24 hours, this class, like the current class you're watching, will be up. So you can always go back if you're like, what was that color, or what was that scraper, or what. So again, a lot of great information when you get your product, if you're not crafting along with us. It's a really fun thing to do.
And, you know, shameless plug for us, we do a lot of other things besides terracotta. So we're live, for example, pretty much every Monday night doing a painting class with our plaid creators here. We do other kinds of, you know, we've had pouring classes, we've had resin things, we have all kinds of stuff that we do. So please be sure to constantly be checking the Michael's page for classes, because Plaid has a bunch of offerings and we'd love to have you on board for those.
Yeah. All right, well, it was a quick class, but I hope it was a really fun technique, and I hope we inspired you guys. So definitely get your FolkArt Terracotta, check out our other videos. And you guys, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you later. Bye, guys.
Thanks, everyone.